I used to believe that if nothing was wrong, nothing needed to be fixed. That belief cost me more than I expected. When people ask when it started going quiet between us, I never know how to answer. There was no single moment, no argument, no betrayal, just a growing space between what we said and what we meant. Her name was Emily. She was the kind of woman who didn't demand attention. She earned it. And at first, I gave it freely. We met during a calm period in my life. No chaos, no urgency, just enough room to notice someone else. Emily had a way of listening that slowed conversations down. She didn't rush to respond. She waited until she actually understood. That made people open up around her, including me. In the beginning, I talked easily about my past, my work, the things I never planned to stay long enough to build. She asked questions I didn't feel interrogated by. "What do you want your days to feel like?" she asked once. Not look like, feel like. I didn't answer right away. She didn't push. That should have told me something. We built routines quietly. Tuesday dinners, long walks after dark, sitting next to each other without the pressure to fill the silence. I thought silence meant comfort. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it means something else is forming underneath. The first change was subtle. I started answering messages later, not because I didn't care, because I assumed she'd understand. Understanding became my excuse. She noticed things I dismissed, the way I checked my phone during conversations, how my responses shortened when I was tired, how often I said, "We'll talk about it later." Later felt responsible. Later felt safe. Later felt endless. One evening we were washing dishes together. Nothing important had happened that day. That's why the moment stayed with me. She looked at me and said, "Do you ever worry that we're avoiding something?" I smiled. Avoiding what? I didn't say it out loud. I didn't want to open a door I wasn't ready to walk through. "I think we're fine," I said. She nodded. She always nodded. That's the part I misunderstood. What I didn't realize then was that she wasn't agreeing. She was noting the distance. After that, her questions changed. They became softer, less direct, as if she was already preparing for answers she might not get. I told myself this was normal, that relationships settle, that intensity fades. I didn't realize I was confusing stability with disengagement. There was a night, months later, when she almost said something important. I could feel it. She sat on the edge of the bed, quiet longer than usual. I asked if she was okay. She said yes. That was my invitation. I let it pass. That night didn't feel like a turning point. It felt ordinary. The conversation didn't happen the way I imagined it would. There was no dramatic buildup, no raised voices, no moment where everything came out at once, just a quiet evening that refused to stay quiet. We were sitting at the table after dinner. The plates were still there, untouched, as if we both knew moving them would delay something. Emily folded her hands. That's how I knew this wasn't casual. "Can I ask you something?" she said. I nodded. I always nodded. "Do you feel like you're choosing me," she asked, "or just fitting me in?" The question landed harder than I expected, not because it was unfair, because it was precise. I wanted to answer quickly. Quick answers feel confident. They also hide hesitation. "I choose you," I said. She didn't react. That scared me. "How?" she asked. Not accusing, not defensive, curious. That was worse. I talked about logistics, time, schedules, balance. I sounded reasonable. She sounded tired. "I don't mean effort," she said. "I mean intention." That word stayed between us. Intention. I'd been living on momentum. Silence stretched, not uncomfortable, heavy. "I feel like I'm always waiting," she said finally. "We have for you to be available in a way that doesn't have an end time." I felt exposed, not misunderstood, seen. I told her I was doing my best. I told her things would settle soon. I told her I needed patience. She listened. She always did. "But I don't want to become smaller while I wait," she said. That's when I realized this wasn't about time. It was about space. The next few weeks were careful. We were gentle with each other. Too gentle, like people afraid that one wrong move would break something already cracked. She stopped asking certain questions. I stopped offering certain truths. We both noticed. Neither of us named it. One night, she didn't come home until late. I didn't ask where she'd been. Not because I trusted her, because I didn't want to invite another conversation. That was the moment something shifted. Not because of what she did, because of what I avoided. We were still together. But something fundamental had moved, like furniture rearranged in the dark. I told myself we were adjust Sunday. Not because Sundays are symbolic, but because they're honest. There's nowhere to hide in them. We were sitting on the floor, no table between us this time. Emily spoke slowly, like someone who had rehearsed this conversation enough to be calm, but not enough to be unaffected. I don't feel chosen, she said, and I don't want to keep explaining that feeling. I opened my mouth, then closed it. For once, I didn't rush to respond. She wasn't angry. That hurt more than anger would have. Anger means there's still something being asked for. This felt like closure. I love you, she said, but I'm tired of waiting to feel included. I wanted to argue. I wanted to list everything I'd done right. I didn't. None of that would have answered what she was actually saying. She wasn't asking me to do more. She was asking me to be here. And by the time I understood that, she was already leaving. We packed quietly, not because it was mutual, because she had already mourned us. I was just starting. After she left, the apartment didn't feel empty. It felt unfinished, like a sentence that stops mid-thought. I replayed our conversations, all the times she'd asked without demanding, all the moments I'd promised without committing. I realized something uncomfortable. Understanding someone doesn't mean you're meeting them. Weeks passed, then months. I became more available, at work, with friends. I learned how to show up on time. It didn't fix anything. One night, I caught myself reaching for my phone. I wanted to tell her something small, something ordinary. Those were the moments she used to care about most. I put the phone down, not because I was strong, because I finally respected the boundary. She didn't leave because she stopped loving me. She left because she stopped waiting for me to arrive. I don't think of her with regret anymore. I think of her with clarity. She taught me the difference between being present and being adjacent. Now, when someone asks for space, I listen. When silence stretches, I don't rush to fill it. When something matters, I say it while it still has weight. Some people don't need more time. They need to know they're not an option. Emily didn't take anything from me. She returned me to myself. And that lesson stayed.